Good morning. Welcome to a research tutorial. We're going to take a little tour of the Egan Library online so that you can see some quick tips and ways to find full text articles that you can use as references for your reflective essays. So you log in to UAS online, and then down here you'll see Egan Library. I just think this is an easy way to get there. That way you don't have to log in again. And then over here where it says find articles, you can do databases by subject. I recommend you do education. And then you can see a bunch of databases that you can search for education. One of the best is Academic Search Premier. It's not listed at the top under education, but it's a very powerful search engine that goes across a whole bunch of different databases. So let's do formative assessment, and then we want to include secondary, or you could do middle school, or whatever you like, but sometimes it's a good way to limit your responses a little bit. I've already checked search within full text articles because that's what we're looking for. We want to find all of the search terms, and we want full text articles only. If you have trouble with finding full text articles, you can also get them through ILLiad, the interlibrary loan system. But I think you're always better off just going for the full text. So here we have our search results, and we have 9,475, so we might want to limit it. You can certainly do that by narrowing your search, but you might just start cruising along and look for some pieces that might be relevant. This looks interesting. Formative assessment at the crossroads, conformative, deformative, and transformative assessment. Looks interesting. Educational assessment in Norway. Elements of proximal formative assessment in learners' discourse about energy. Formative assessment in 7 good moves. Let's see what this is. This is in education leadership. We just click on it. We get the full text. By listening carefully to what students say and thinking deeply about how to better guide them, teachers can become accomplished formative assessors. This looks very good. So what I would do is download that to my desktop and hang on to it and go back and continue my research. I wanted to look at a couple other databases here so that you can see some of your options. Let's go back. Education full text. These are only full text articles and pertaining to education. So let's use the same terms. And again, we want full text. They're all full text, so it's a little bit redundant. Exploring teacher beliefs and use of acceleration, ability grouping, and formative assessment. That sounds great. So you can just kind of cruise here. So that is the H.W. Wilson Education Full Text Database. Just wanted to look at one more. I don't like ERIC because there are very few full text articles. You get lots of citations and abstracts, and but it's hard to find full text on ERIC. JSTOR mostly has full text, so you do advanced search on JSTOR. This is one of the most expensive databases that an institution can belong to, so we're very fortunate that we have it at UAS. And we probably don't want books, so let's focus on articles for this one. Only content that I can access. Let's go ahead and search. The only downside to some articles in JSTOR is that they're locked. And so you can open it, you can read it, but to try to copy and paste or save it under a different title or do anything like that can be very difficult. But you can access and read the full text of these articles. There's a couple there that we saw in some of the other databases. The formative use of assessment information in planning, the notion of contingent planning. You'll see a lot of articles by the British Journal of Education Studies, and I think those are relevant. I mean, it's a different context, but they're dealing with a lot of the same issues that we deal with in public education. So I wouldn't worry so much about articles from an international audience as long as it's on the topic. Learning careers or assessment careers, the impact of assessment systems on learning. Revolution, evolution, or a Trojan horse, piloting assessment for learning in some Scottish primary schools. Anyway, if you were to cruise through here, I'm sure you could find some very relevant pieces. Meanings and consequences, a basis for distinguishing formative and summative functions of assessment. Oh, that sounds really interesting. I'm going to open that real quick. Here it is. The assessment process is characterized as a cycle involving elicitation of evidence, which, when interpreted appropriately, may lead to action, which in turn can yield further evidence, and so on. An assessment is defined as serving a formative function when it elicits evidence that yields construct-referenced interpretations that form the basis for successful action in improving performance. Looks great. So that might be one to save. All right, and that pretty much concludes our little tour of some education databases. Just to review, highly recommend Academic Search Premier, JSTOR, Education Full Text. Education Journals is also good, and you can find a lot of full text articles there. Most of what you see here would also be in Academic Search Premier. So I wish you good luck and that you find some great references for your reflective essays.